Valley Club, in this video, we're gonna get you off to the best start for Raid Shadow Legends for 2025. 3 legendaries, 3 epics, a bunch of things to do, a bunch of things to avoid. And if you're ready for all of it, you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin Raid channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're gonna go over some of the best things to do and to avoid when starting up a brand new account in Raid Shadow Legends. If you do get some value from this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you know as soon as a brand new video goes up. We have at least 6 pieces of Raid Shadow Legends content every single week on this channel. Well, let's jump into the game and talk about some of the best things to do as a beginner and some of the worst things that you should be avoiding as a beginner. Let's go into the list of champs. I do want to talk about Karato Fox Hunter, because if you use my download link to get a fresh copy of Raid or that QR code up there, you're gonna get 3 legendary characters for free, including Karato Fox Hunter. He is a great character in Raid Shadow Legends. You get him right off the bat as soon as you're done with your tutorial. You get some epic characters as well. Level 25, you get Uugo, another great epic support champ. You get level 45, you get Tagoar, great epic reviver. And then when you reach level 50, you're gonna get Fayne, a great damage dealer for the clan boss. Now, as soon as you have Karato in your account, use one of these codes to get another free legendary. My recommendation is that Demon Slayer code to get Stolen Foulbeard. He is a great character for dealing damage to bosses and for clearing waves. The code that I used was Monkey King to get Sun Wukong, great PvP champ. Desert Queen is another code you can get for 2 Honorak, but there's 5 of them. Use one of these. And if you use the link right away, July, there's going to be another legendary that you get for free. A login calendar for Lemony, the Goldwing is coming. That is going to be your 3rd legendary character for free, along with those 3 epics. But let's get to your starter champ. I chose Kale. I think he is the best starter champ. You also could choose Elhain, 8th, or Gaelic. I think Kale is great because he can apply poisons. That's going to be great for dealing damage to some of the bosses. And even though you're getting some legendaries for free, some epic champs for free, I would prioritize building up your rare champ as your first champ, because he's going to be easier to level up. It's going to be easier to send him, get these purple stars on him, and also to level up his skills. There's different skill tomes for different rarity of characters. Legendary characters do have different the skill tomes that they have. They're going to be harder to get. Epic characters a little easier to get than the legendary skill tomes, but not as easy to get as the rare ones. So you're gonna have the easiest time building up Kale, which is why I recommend building up first. Get him to level 60, build him up, and use him as your campaign farmer. And that's what I would do early on in the game. Get as far as you can in the campaigns, beat some of the normal stages, get to the end, and start to get some of these gems. What you want to do is start to build up these champs and also watch these Arbiter missions. They're not live for me right now because fortunately we did just unlock Arbiter. Now, this first set of Arbiter missions are going to be pretty easy to complete. The good thing about it, like I said, you will get a bunch of resources, including gems. And that is one of the things that you should be focused on as a new player. What should you do with your gems? Some people, and what I did was focus on my mine. What you can do is open up this mine. You can level up 3 times, and I think it takes 1,500 gems to level it up fully. And if you're playing for a long time, this will pay for itself in about 100 days. Gives you a little bit of gems every single time you log in. After every 1 hour and 36 minutes at fully leveled. So this is where you get some gems, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would recommend getting your masteries for your starter champ. Now, you can spend 800 gems to get those masteries, and that's where I would spend my first 800 gems. The gem mine is great long-term, but if you want that immediate value, get you some of the early campaigns, get you through some of these earlier Arbiter missions, and have your rare champs strong enough that you could get through some of these early missions until you could build some of your other champs, some of the legendary champs, Karato or Stolen Foulbeard or whoever you use for your starter champ. It's going to be a lot easier to build up Kale than some of these legendaries, at least early on. Once you can start to shift to building up your epics and legendaries, build them up. They're going to have a lot more value than Kale. I use Kale for about 30 days or so, and then after that, I don't really use him. So he's going to be very, very important to your early game, but after about 30 days, if you're building up your legendaries and epics properly and going through those Arbiter missions, you're not going to have a lot of use for kills. So he's the first champ you build, but once you can shift to some other better champs, that's you're going to shift on. Right now, these campaign missions, the best place to farm with these campaigns is going to be the highest stage you could farm at 12-3. So if all you could get to is normal 12-3, that's going to be the best place to farm as far as getting the best resource, the best terms of experience for the amount of energy that you use. So if it's normal, go to normal. If it's hard, go to hard. Brutal is probably where you want to stop. In my main account, I haven't even been through Nightmare yet because of just it takes a lot of energy to get through all this stuff, and it's not a great use of energy. You want to go to Brutal 12-3, but of course just get you as hard as much as you can, and you want to try to 3-star as much of these as possible, using either your starter champ or coming back in later with your big legendary champ. Might as well Sun Wukong. Yours could be Karato or whoever. And you want to get a lot of these resources. Gems are some of the stuff. Some of the shards are some resources that you get for here as well. So make sure you're 3-starring a lot of these early campaigns. Now, Raid Shadow Legends is all about resource management and thinking about every single thing in Raid Shadow Legends as a resource is one way to think about it. And I think that's the best way long-term to get the most bang for your buck with some of these events. So we first have these brews up here. If we go to the tavern, we have these brews. These brews are helpful to level up your champs, but I wouldn't use it for that. What I would use it for are champ training tournaments, which you could do before you start to ascend champs, which is, or upgrade the ranks of champs, which is like getting them from 5-star to 6-star or 4 to 5-star. What you can do is, instead of sacrificing some of these champs and just putting them in. So for example, if I was to upgrade one of these characters, let's take, for example, Miscreated Monster. Instead of just putting these champs down here onto them and then leveling them up, or some chickens, what I would do during these champ training events using these brews, so first putting a couple brews into these champs, getting you a couple free levels, and then putting into the champ that you are going to upgrade their rank. These chickens are other resources as well. You could use these to upgrade the rank of your characters, but like I said, during these champ training tournaments, that is when I think it's best to use these brews to upgrade characters like that. Your skills, we talked a little bit about skill tomes. These rare skill tomes are going to be a little easier to get, actually a lot easier to get into early game than some of these epics rares, and I still don't have a mythical, so there's no use for any of these mythical tomes for me right now, unless you get really lucky and pull a mythical right off the bat from one of your primal shards. These aren't going to have a lot of value. You don't want to, now one thing, there is a mistake that you can make. So for epic characters, you can use legendary tomes to up their skills, or mythical tomes. You do want to stick within that same category. So if I'm upgrading epic character, I'm not going to use any legendary books or mythical books, only epic books. If I'm upgrading a rare, I could use any of these books, but I'm only going to use rare books. Now that with certain champs on these campaigns, you can farm them. And once you fill up your faction guardians, which is a place in the, actually, let's go there now. I'll just show you what that is. So the faction guardians is where you could place duplicate champs. For example, Oregon tribes, you could get more HP, you could get more attack, accuracy, resistance, defense, and speed as you fill these up. And it gets a little bit benefit for rare champs, a little bit more for epics, and a lot of benefit for legendary champs. What you get some the duplicates for there. But actually, for your duplicate champs, if you're getting them from the campaign, there are some good ones here. Some good rare champs that you can get. And any of these rare champs, do not use any legendary books on them or rare books on them, because you can use duplicate champs to upgrade their skills. So for example, let's find a character that you might want to farm. So Spirit Host is a character that you could use in a fusion. You have to use in one of these early fusions. Let's actually go to, where is the barbarians here? Not here. Eris. Eris is a champ that you might want to build up. And I'm using it for in my clan boss right now because she has some counterattacks. So if you are building her up, building up her skills, if you look at her skills here, you get some different damage as you build this up. So instead of using books to build her up, use duplicate champs because they are farmable. War Maiden is another champ that you might want to get. Where is she? I can't. Deadlands, I think she's at. Yeah, here she is. So you might want to get some of War Maidens and build her up. She does have some defense downs across this, but yeah, any of these farmable champs, go through all these campaigns, and any farmable champs, make sure you're not using skill tomes on them. Use duplicate champs because you could just farm them. Let's move on to arena, because this is the place that I think a lot of people can make mistakes. And this is a very important part of the game for those Arbiter missions. To get through the Arbiter, you need to win a lot of arena battles. And if you look, you get some game-wide bonuses in HP, attack, and defense, depending on where you are as far as your tier in arena. Now, what I look for in arena is just some weak defenses. So I look for someone with not speed leads. And this is going to be more important as you climb up. But as you're some of these lower tiers, I think you're just going to smash a lot of bots. But what I look for is teams without a speed lead, and if my power level is around where they are. So I'm about 180,000 power. Even at this high level arena, I could still find teams of people that have just placed one character on defense, so that they don't I have some weak defenses as well, and sometimes people play some very weak defenses so that they can get some easier teams to fight on offense. So they try to go down, and then they could face easier teams on offense. I do that as well, and as you're climbing up, you'll still see a lot of these teams with very weak defenses, one-person defenses, or one-character defenses. So look for those. Easy to climb up, but as far as what you're gonna do with your arena stuff, you have this great haul. Now, the Arbiter missions do require you to level up a few of these, and then some of your challenges in the beginning require you to do some of these attacks. I would focus everything outside of those on one specific place: accuracy. One accuracy for one affinity. So because Kale is a magic champ, I think a lot of people do magic as their first affinity. But if you're going to go for one of these legendary chests, maybe you're a spender and have the skill tomes to just go for a legendary right away, build that up instead of going for rares and then starting to work on your legendaries. If you want to go for a legendary right away, you could use the affinity of the champ that you're building up, but focus on one. Go as wide as you need to for the missions, but everything else, just focus on one. Once you're at the place like I am, have Arbiter unlocked, you can start to look for some other things, but other classes. But I would start to get all of these to level 5. So you have one affinity at level 10, get all the rest at level 5, and then start to work on one at a time. That is what I'm going to do. And then start, usually the way to do this is to start with accuracy, then go resistance, then crit damage, then defense, and then either attack or HP, depending on what your champ needs. But usually accuracy and resistance are the first two. You can kind of switch it up after a while. I think after you've done one section, you've been playing the game long enough, you kind of know what you need and what, sometimes it's best to deviate from the best practices, but that is the area to focus on. All right, let's move on to gear. One of the more tougher things I think for newer players is gear. It was tough for me to figure out what I want to do. And initially, you don't have access to a lot of gear. If we look at Miscreated Monster, a character that I just pulled a couple days ago, he doesn't have any gear on him right now. So a lot of these good sets you don't have access to. You have some access to all the sets in the campaign: life set, offense set, defense set. Speed set is actually pretty good. Life steal set is actually a pretty good set in the beginning, but eventually you're going to move off of that. But in the early game, your first 30 to 60 days, life steal is a very, very good set, especially on Kale. But in the beginning, you probably aren't going to focus on sets too much. Other than life steal set on Kale, probably just going to focus on getting the best stats on your characters. Be careful of the stats that you're putting on, because some characters need different stats. So like Miscreated Monster, you probably want to build them with a lot of accuracy, a lot of HP, maybe some crit rate, crit damage as well. Other characters you might want to build with a lot of attack, and pay attention to their affinity. Miscreated Monster is an HP based champion, and some of if you look at here, the damage is based on HP. So putting a lot of stuff into attack wouldn't do that much damage. If we look at this character here, he is a support character. His damage is based on attack. So pay attention to that of your characters. Be aware of that when you're chasing for certain stats, especially with some of the initial sets here. And then just build them up. I would put them up to level 16 on your starter champ. It is a lot of silver to use that, but you're going to get some login bonuses as a beginner player. You're going to get a bunch of silver. I would use that for your starter champ, and then start to hoard that gold. Spend it a little more wisely. Normally, outside of your first champ, you want to use it on the Dungeon Divers event. That's when you should use your, not your Dungeon Divers, the gear enhancement tournaments, the gear enhancement events. That's when you use your silver to up your gear and your artifacts and things like that. And last but not least, watch the timing of when you use your resource. Like I said, everything in this game is a resource. Your energy, your silver, your gems, your skill tomes, even these shards. Be careful when you use these. It's best to use a lot of these shards, a lot like now. If you have a bunch of ancient shards, when you have a boosted summon rate, once in a while, these rates that you get legendary champs go up to double. Once in a while, these primal shards, the mythicals go up to double. I would only open these ancient shards, these void shards, these sacred shards when there's an event going on, a double drop event, or when there's some kind of champ chase event going on, or some kind of summon rush event going on where you get points for it. I wouldn't just open these randomly, only during events, because at least initially, you're gonna have a lot of great legendaries, a lot of great epic characters anyway. So you need to focus on building them up, not getting new champs, at least in the beginning, at least for your first week or so. Focus on hoarding these and then hoard these for events. Same thing with all the other resources here. Make sure you use them in the correct events. If there's a dragon event going on, that is when you should use your energy in a dragon dungeon. If there's a spider event going on, that's when you should use some of your energy in the spider dungeon. Just watch the timing of all your resources, because this is a resource management game and it's not a sprint, it is a marathon. So using all your resources at the correct time is going to be very valuable to your account process, to your account progress. Hopefully you did get some value from this video, and if you did, leave it a like. Check me out on social media, and of course, if you want to start that brand new account, get those free legendaries, 3 epics, use that QR code up there or that download link to get a fresh copy of Raid. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.